Assalamualaikum. My name is Nazatun Nabila binti Noazri. Today, I would like to present an online presentation about topic 3, 4, and 5. The first one is risk management technique strategies. Describe risk management options. The first one is loss prevention. Based on our final year project cabin seni, the loss prevention as illustrated in this figure encompasses 5 areas of activities that should be applied to the event purpose, product, process, place, people, and practice. In this figure state about how do losses occur. The first one is accidents, damage, sabotage, theft, errors, and injuries. And what could be lost? The first one is equipment, functionality, material and supplies, and the last one is time. How loss prevention strategies. The first one is safety precautions and protocols, security personnel and equipment, communication systems, and the last one is contingency plans. Next is security. Security means safety as well as the measures taken to be safe or protected. In order to provide adequate security for the parade, town officials often hire extra guards. In my final year project, we secure our event from any risk by make sure that all equipment are strong and well strategic. Next is incorporation. Incorporation is the legal process used to form a corporate entity or a company. A corporation is the resulting legal entity that separates the firm's asset and income from its owners and investors. Copyright. Copyright refers to legal right of the owner of intellectual property. In simpler forms, copyright is the right to copy. This means that the original creators of products and anyone they give authorization to are the one who only with the exclusive right to reproduce the work. Next, we move to risk financing. Risk financing is the allocation of funding for the financial consequences of risk exposure, either through the retention of the risk, self-insure, or the transfer of risk through the purchase of the proper insurance coverage for the event and event organization. From my final year project cabin seni, we only get the funding from PTSS, that is with TAP. We move to insurance. Insurance is one of the most factors in organizing an event. The law requires the organizer to have employers' liability cover for all employees including unpaid helpers and public liability. Next is holdbacks. A holdback is a portion of the purchase price that is not paid at the closing date. The amount is usually held in a party's escrow account to secure a future obligation or until a certain condition is achieved. Next is payment. Payment is the transfer of one from goods, services, or financial assets in exchange for another form of goods, services, or financial assets in acceptable proportion that have been previously agreed upon by all parties involved. Next is lien, an official order that allows someone to keep the property of a person who owes the money until it has been paid. The second one is identify risk management plan. Identify circumstances that may require contingency plan, such as weather, cancellation, labor disputes, funding shortfalls, reduced funding, and the last one is technology failures. The first one is weather. The state of the atmosphere with the respect to wind, temperature, cloudiness, moisture, pressure, and others. The strong wind happen on my event that we had fixed all equipment to be more solid, so all people that come to our event will be safe. Next is cancellation. Cancellation will happen if there something unwanted things happen. For an example, the event cancelled because of COVID-19. Next is labor disputes. A labor dispute is the state of disagreement over a particular issue of group over which there is conflict between workers and employers. Next is funding shortfalls. A funding shortfall is a lack of money to meet projected needs. Such shortage are particular concerns for government and non-governmental organizations that provide services to members of the public. Based on my final year project, we are facing the funding shortfall because the less of sponsorship that we got. Furthermore, the amount of expenses are more than the budget that we stated. Next is reduce funding. Some of the funding we are forced to reduce to prevent the overspending for our project. And the last one is technology failures. A technology failure is unwanted error of technology-based system. For an example, the technology failures will happen when the PA system is not working well. So, before we run the event, we need to test the PA system. We move to identify alternative for specific. The first one is avoidance. This is the most effective risk management strategy in that by avoiding an activity or risk, any chance of a loss will be eliminated. While it's the most effective strategy, it is also not always the most practical choice, as every part of a school operation has some level of risk. Next is risk control. Risk control is the most widely used strategy, as when combined to other strategies, it enables activities or operations to take place with best safety practice or policies or procedure in effect that address the various elements of risk inherent the activity or process. For example, during the event setup, we wear the right dress code and the safety shoes. Next is risk transfer. This is the proactive process of transferring unwanted risk away from your organization to another person or organization. For an example, purchasing an insurance. Next is loss reduction. This is a post-loss strategy that is essentially a response plan that addresses what will be done if a loss does occur. An effective loss reduction strategy can effectively reduce the impact of a loss and can make a difference between an inconvenience and catastrophe. Next is segregation of exposures. In a sense, this strategy follows the adage "don't put all eggs in one basket." By spreading your exposure to loss across different locations or isolating certain risks, the chance of total loss is significantly reduced. Next is duplication of resources. This strategy involves maintaining backup facilities or have a contingency plan in place in case an unexpected situation interrupts the normal flows of operations. While this strategy can involve maintaining an expensive infrastructure, it is an important strategy to consider for certain critical operations for your school board. The third one is risk management process. Determine legal requirements and authorization needed. The first one is select framework. Secondly, obtain organization commitment. Third, identify a legal risk. Fourth, analyze legal risk. Fifth, evaluate legal risk. And the last one is communicate and advise. Identify types of insurance coverage needed. The first one is public liability. The event organizer must have in place a public liability policy with an approved insurer. There may be other stakeholders involved in the event who need public liability cover. Evidence of public liability cover should be obtained from all stakeholders in the form of certificates of currency. Second is building and contents insurance. The applications should include evidence that the building or venue has been insured under a bidding policy. Next is workers' compensation. Events may include persons who are working, such as security guards, promoter, and or sponsor. As per legal requirements, the employer of these individuals are required to have in place workers' compensation cover. Next is personal accident cover. Volunteers may be involved in the running and coordination of event. Consideration may need to be given requiring this person to be covered by a personal accident policy should they suffer a personal injury. Next, and the last one is motor vehicle insurance. All vehicles should be registered as per legislation. In some instances, event organizer may feel it necessary to ensure all motor vehicles are covered by a fully comprehensive motor vehicle policy in case of damage caused by the vehicle on site, and all drivers are licensed appropriately. That's all from me. Thank you.